Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dead Mall Walking. We're back in Nashville, Tennessee, checking out the Gaylord Opryland Resort, which is, as you'll see, neither dead nor a mall. But I thought it was worth covering for a couple of reasons that I'll get into later in the video. First off, some housekeeping. I did most of my filming here at night because it was just too busy with convention guests to film much during the day. If you have any experience with GoPros, you'll know that they don't exactly perform brilliantly in low light, particularly if you've got an older model like mine. But if you can stick with it, I think you'll enjoy the video anyway. Formerly known as the Opryland Hotel, this place opened back in the late 1970s and was originally right next to the now defunct Opryland theme park. With almost 3,000 rooms, the Gaylord Opryland Resort is one of the 30 largest hotels in the world, and rooms regularly command a nightly rate of more than $500. And it's located about a 20-minute drive outside of the city. Despite the fact that Opryland is long gone, closing in 1997, this resort is as popular as it's ever been. So how can that possibly be the case? Truthfully, I never quite figured that out, but I wanted to talk about it anyway, and put forward a few theories. In addition to being a convention centre, the hotel is adjoined to one of Tennessee's largest malls, and as of this video's recording, the only outlet shopping destination in Nashville, Opry Mills. If you haven't already checked out my video on Opry Mills, I recommend that you do so, as I consider it a companion piece to this one. Could the presence of a mall, albeit one of America's 30 largest malls, really explain this hotel's enduring popularity? In the year 2000, then Mills Corp CEO Lawrence C. Siegel said that Opry Mills would, quote, become the mall for mid-America right now. As you go through this mall, you'll see the colour and stores and the activities and the participatory nature of what we've done here is very theme park-like anyway, end quote. In my video on Opry Mills, I talked about how, although echoes of Siegel's vision remain, that statement isn't really true anymore. The mall is huge and thriving, but it's just a mall. This hotel, with its fake city streets, sprawling gardens, water park and indoor arcades, is much more in line with Siegel's vision of something theme park-like. In his essay Disney World Company, published in 1996, Jean Baudrillard suggests that we are living within an immediate synchronism of all the places and all the periods in a single atemporal virtuality. It's difficult to tell with Baudrillard, but I think what he means by this is that most of what we experience in modern life is a simulation of something, or indeed everything else. That we're all living in the Matrix. What's interesting about this place is that it doesn't try to escape that idea in the way that Disney does, with forced perspective and only allowing Mickey to appear live in one place at a time, but actively embraces it. Take, for example, the lack of effort taken to disguise the absurdity of this restaurant shaped like an antebellum mansion and dropped right in the middle of the property. I've heard they do a great steak, but unfortunately for me, we're not here for steak. Like any good theme park does, this resort brings together disparate elements and blends them together in a way that you rarely question it. The water in Opryland Resort's Delta River is made up of water drawn from every single river in the USA. The resort's garden contains 50,000 tropical plants from all over the world, many of which have no business being in Tennessee. Like Disney's Main Street USA, the Gaylord Opryland Resort is at once everywhere and nowhere. Of course, the comparisons with Disney don't end there. When you walk around this place, you're instantly transported somewhere else. And it's easy to forget that you're less than 20 miles away from the hustle and bustle of Broadway. Much of it feels like you've stepped off one of the little boats from Pirates of the Caribbean or the Jungle Cruise. Coincidentally, the only quote-unquote ride at the resort is a boat ride, courtesy of the Delta Riverboat Company. A 12 to 14 minute trip that'll set you back $14. And although I'm sure it's fun, its presence sort of undercuts what I really wanted to say about the Gaylord Opryland Resort. It's a theme park with no admission fee and without any rides. I'd like to take a moment to shout out the artist Alom for allowing me to use tracks from their album Into Dust for this video. I thought it'd be the perfect accompaniment to a moonlit walk around this place, and I fell in love with the hauntingly beautiful melodies as soon as I heard them, so I'm really glad they gave me permission to use them. Their Bandcamp is linked below if you'd like to check out their other work. Let's give ourselves a second for our eyes to adjust to the light, then we'll check out what this place looks like in the daytime. I'm still trying to work out whether I prefer it during the day or at night. For a while, it seemed like this resort might be getting a new amusement park to keep it company. In January of 2012, Gaylord Opryland announced a partnership with Tennessee's own Dolly Parton to bring a $50 million snow and water themed park to 100 plus acres of land near the hotel. Less than a year later, Dolly pulled out of the project after Gaylord Opryland sold to Marriott International, stating that Gaylord is actually involved at the moment with some changes of their own. So we're just kind of waiting until they get their things straightened out before we go forward with that. She later made the subtext text when she added that Gaylord makes decisions that they feel are good for their company and their stockholders, and I have to make decisions based on what's best for me and the Dollywood company. So, for the moment at least, the resort will have to rely on Opry Mills and the nearby Grand Ole Opry to bring traffic its way. Given that the Opry seats almost 2,500 people and sells out almost every night, I imagine its presence is a big help. This is actually the largest non-gaming hotel in the world, meaning one without a casino on its grounds. Home to multiple bars and restaurants, a full-service spa, and a residents-only water park that was added to the property in 2017, this place is aiming to become a destination in its own right, with or without any help from theme parks. And it seems like it's winning that battle. A personal highlight of mine in the resort was the conservatory walkway, which takes you high above its restaurants, bars and gardens. And wandering aimlessly up here brought to mind a quotation by Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Generally speaking, Americans have an inability to relax into sheer pleasure. Ours is an entertainment-seeking nation, but not necessarily a pleasure-seeking one. Americans spend billions to keep themselves amused with everything from porn to theme parks to wars. But that's not exactly the same thing as quiet enjoyment. Americans don't really know how to do nothing. This is the cause of that great sad American stereotype, the overstressed executive who goes on vacation but who cannot relax. This place is not Opryland, but maybe that's okay. There's just something about this place that makes it feel like a fever dream. This might be the only place outside of the Disney parks that I've felt what most people refer to as Disney magic. And without the pressure of rope drops or fast passes, maybe this is the perfect spot for that overstressed executive to get away from all those Nashville must-sees, the Bluebird, the Honky Tonks, the Country Music Hall of Fame, Hot Chicken at Hattie B's, and just do, well, nothing. If you're in Nashville, it's worth coming to check this place out, even if you can't afford the nightly rates. FYI, I definitely couldn't, and walked over from the Best Western where I was staying nearby. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Likes and subscribes are always appreciated, and you'll find some ways to support the channel in the description. My Instagram is also linked below, where I've been experimenting with reels a little bit lately, so I hope you'll come and join me over there. Until next time, goodbye from the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee.